Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm very happy to see you. So today I'm back with another video and I'm going to be talking about my meal prep. So the meal prep, I saw a lot of different options going around YouTube. Some people meal prep for the entire week. Some people meal prep ingredients. That never really worked for me because my brain doesn't work like this. On the spot, I cannot put some kind of bowl together and switch it up and make it all nice and yummy, and it just doesn't work for me. So I do meal prep twice a week. um, I do first meal prep on Sunday, and I meal prep for 4 days, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And on Friday, I do meal prep for the rest of the week, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this way, I have fresh meals ready to go in the refrigerator, because a lot of my protein I get from chicken or seafood, and this kind of ingredients stay fresh only for like 3 to 4 days maximum. So this way I can get nutrition in my cravings, and I feel like this is the best way that works for me right now. So if you would like to see how I'm doing this, because I already meal prepped for the first part of the week, and today is Friday, and I know that Fridays usually my kids go to school, so I have time to run some errands and cook. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I meal prep. So if you'd like to see it, then stay tuned. And I have some vegetables to prepare right here. I have one golden potato. You can use any potatoes you want. I prefer golden ones because they're usually on the smaller side and they're not as starchy. So I use a little bit of potato just to thicken up the soup, tiny bit, but I don't use much of them. And I'm going to use probably quarter of the onion. I already used half of it last time. I'm going to use three small carrots. You can use one large carrot or maybe two. I love carrots, so I usually use a lot. And I have this cabbage right here. I already used it for wraps and salads and for soup, so this is like a leftover. And I think that a quarter of small cabbage would be good enough. And I'm going to use this veggie peeler. I'm going to prepare the vegetables while I'm waiting for water to start boiling. So I'm going to peel the vegetables. I'm gonna cut them in small cubes, and I'll show you how all this looks. So now I already prepared all the vegetables. I have some carrots, I have some potatoes, onions, and cabbage, and I'm going to put all this in the boiling water. Some people think that the vegetables cook in a different rate, and maybe cabbage needs a little bit less or more cooking time. I put it all together because I like vegetables soft in the soup and almost like puree like, but not quite. So I put it all together, and then I'm going to season it. And now, because the vegetables are not super flavorful, so I like to add a lot of seasoning to it. So I'm adding the salt. You can use whatever salt you use. This one is just a regular sea salt, I believe. I know a lot of people like the pink salt lately, so use whatever you want. I add a little bit of a cayenne pepper just for a little bit of a kick. Don't overdo it because this is super spicy. I add paprika. It adds a little bit of a smoked flavor, and I really like it. And I add a little bit of chili. I don't know, I just personally like the flavor, and together with paprika it gives like really smoky flavor. There's some Italian blend mix. You can add oregano if you want, and of course the bay leaves. I'm probably gonna add maybe, whoa, maybe like 3 or 4. And to this whole mixture, I'm going to add a little bit of a tomato paste. I use the one that's in this tube just because it's easier to seal and reuse. But I add about a teaspoon of tomato paste, mix it up very well, then bring it back to boil, and cover it with the lid, and you'll probably have to boil it for about, I would say, 20-25 minutes on like a medium high heat. I'm going to start on the meal prepping the breakfast. I'm going to do overnight oatmeal, and there's like a bunch of different flavors out there, but I'm going to do cinnamon apple today. And since I'm doing it for 2 days, I'm using 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. So I'm using 2 cups of almond milk. But if you guys eat dairy, which I do sometimes, you can use a little bit of less milk than oats, and then you can add a layer of Greek yogurt when we already like put it in the mason jars or containers, and that's going to be very yummy. So for today I don't have a Greek yogurt, so I'm just using equal parts of overnight oats and of the oats and equal parts of almond milk. For the sweetness, I'm going to add some honey. For this amount of oats, I'll probably use probably 2 tablespoons of honey. You can make it sweeter or less sweet depending on your preference. I have a sweet tooth in the morning, so I'm making it pretty sweet. So now I'm going to slice the apple that's gonna go in this oatmeal. And I actually just found out that I actually don't have raisins. I really wanted to add raisins to it, but even without raisins, I feel like it's going to be pretty good anyway. With raisins, I feel it's really good option to do overnight oatmeal with carrots and apple and raisins. This is like really delicious. So I'm going to put my apples in there. And I also have our roasted almonds. I bought the raw and I just roasted them. I'm going to make probably like, I don't know, a handful of roasted almonds. I'm just going to roughly chop them. So I'm going to add the almonds in there. And the last thing I need to add is the cinnamon. It smells so good, guys, in here. So now I'm going to put all this mixture in the mason jar. So through this funnel, we're going to place all this mixture in the mason jar. So now that I divided this overnight oatmeal in the mason jars, it was enough for 2 portions. You can make it smaller or larger. This is on the larger side, but with 1 cup of oats in each mason jar, and with the apple and almonds, it's roughly 400 calories per meal, which is a good amount of calories for breakfast. So I'm going to start on tofu scrambled, and for this I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in the skillet. I'm using avocado oil, and I already chopped all the vegetables. All we are going to need is a little bit of onion, 1 Roma tomato or any tomato for the matter, and also I'm using some mushrooms, but you can add to the scramble pretty much whatever you want. So for the beginning, I'm just going to put probably a quarter of large onion chopped, and I'm just going to roast it for a little bit. Okay, so this is how our onion's doing. Just gonna keep mixing it, and I think they're almost done, so I'm going to add the mushrooms to this mix. It's really hard to do with one hand, but hey. I'm going to cook them for a little bit on a high heat, and I'm going to turn it down and let the water out and simmer them for about 10 minutes. Okay, so mushrooms already cooked down to this amount. I'm going to add a little bit of potatoes. I'm sorry. Now I'm going, not potatoes, but tomatoes. And just mix it up and let this cook down a little bit and let water evaporate. Tomatoes kind of simmer down to this condition. Not too much, but I think that's enough. And I'm going to add some tofu to it. I'm using extra firm tofu. I already I already drained water out of it, and I roughly chopped some tofu just so it's easier to roast it. So now I'm going to break it down just a little bit, just roughly, and I'm going to add some seasoning and mix it really well. And guys, I feel like it would be really good to this scramble. You can add some spinach or some kale to it. I think it would be really good. I just don't have any on hand. So I'm adding some salt. Tofu is flavorless pretty much, but whatever you add to it, it soaks up the flavor really good. So we gotta be generous with seasoning. So the first one, I'm adding some Italian blend mix. Now I'm going to add this red pepper right here, and this is like really chunky pepper. It's spicy but not too spicy. I'm adding quite a bit, and I want this to be really well seasoned, so I'm using this ground turmeric. You can add not dry but the fresh one if you want, and then curry powder. Just want it to be super flavorful. And now I'm going to mix it very well, and I'm going to break down this tofu and cook all this all together. Okay, so now this is how it looks. It has this beautiful golden color because of the curry and turmeric. And I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of a chopped basil. You can add dry basil as well. It's going to be really yummy. So here we go. We have 2 breakfasts and we have 2 lunches, and then I have my soup, which is about ready. So this is going to be for dinners, and I'm also going to have snacks. Usually I eat like an orange or watermelon cubes or apple, whatever I have in the refrigerator in between the meals. And these lunches right here, they are about 200 250 calories depending on what brand of tofu you're using. So about 250 calories with tomato and mushrooms and everything. And if you add avocado, it's going to add some calories, because one good size avocado is usually about 300 calories. So I will probably cut the avocado and split it in 2, so I have some like healthy fats. um, and tofu is a good source of protein, so this is like a balanced meal. And for my dinner I'm going to have soup, so which is going to be low calories. So yeah, this is how the soup looking. It's steaming nice and ready to go. You can puree it or you can eat it as is. This is my Russian style soup. We call the soup shi, and if we add beetroot to it, we call it borscht, which is like a red soup, which is also really good. For myself, I just try to stay in about 1,000 to 1,200 calories in a day for myself, because I'm a little over 4 feet tall, and I have a smaller frame. So this is the amount of calories that I need to eat in order to like keep losing weight a little bit. I already lost about 30 pounds. I feel like this is a good amount of food for me, but for you it might be different, and definitely consult with your nutritionist or with your doctors, because this is just what I do. I don't suggest or recommend. This is what tastes good for me and what works for me. So you might have to work a little bit to find what works for your body type and lifestyle. So let me know how's your weight loss going, and what's your recipes and suggestions, and I might try them. And until the next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.